Hello and welcome back Sci-Fi Tech. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a DC gear motor disco lights with using two very simple circuits. One circuit will control the auto-changing RGB LEDs, and the second circuit will control the speed of the DC gear motor. Controlling the speed of the DC gear motor will cause the LEDs to rotate at different speeds, rotating very slow or very fast, to create a very unique device. Let's get started. And these are the items you're going to need to make for this project. The items you're going to need: a 9-volt battery clip, 10k ohm potentiometer, a tip 122 Darlington transistor, a slide switch, a 1N4007 rectifier diode, a Perfboard, a DC gear motor, and some cardboard. Now let's go ahead and assemble this project and let's get started. I have right here the schematic that you can use to follow to make this project. First, I'm going to start with taking the Perfboard and placing this 10k ohm potentiometer, placing it right here in the front, pushing it in, bend over the lead so it doesn't fall out, solder it into place, next I'm going to take the 1N4007 rectifier diode, place it into the Perfboard just like this, bend over the leads, and bend the cathode lead over to the potentiometer. And solder bridge the cathode over to the potentiometer, and then solder it into place. And then solder in the anode into place. Cut off the excess. Next I'm going to take the 9-volt battery clip, and I want to connect the negative wire over to the cathode of the diode. Place it right here, clamp it down, bend over the lead over to the cathode, solder it into place, and then solder bridge it over to the cathode of the diode. Next I'm going to take the tip 122 transistor, place it into the Perfboard, and now bend over the base of the transistor over to the center pin of the potentiometer. Solder it into place, and I'll solder bridge it to the center pin of the potentiometer. Solder in the rest of the pins in place. Next I'm going to bend over the collector of the transistor over to the final pin of the potentiometer. Solder bridge it to the final pin of the potentiometer, and there. The collector is now connected. Next I'm going to take the positive wire of the 9-volt battery clip and connect it to the collector of the transistor. Place it right here. Clamp it down. Bend over the lead. Solder it into place. And I'll solder bridge it over to the collector of the transistor. Next I'm going to take this slide switch. I want to place it right here onto the Perfboard. Solder tin these leads. And I'll solder the slide switch into place. Next I'm going to take the positive wire of the 9-volt battery clip and I want to connect it to the slide switch. Cut the wire right here. Remove the insulation by pulling the whole thing off, which is fine. Twist the wire. Bring it over to the center pin of the slide switch. Cut off some excess. And there we go. Solder it to the slide switch. Make sure it goes in. There we go, perfect. Now take the second wire and connect it to the slide switch. And there, the 9-volt battery's positive is connected to the slide switch. Next, I'm going to take the DC gear motor, cut off the wires, remove the insulation, and now take one of the wires and place it next to the anode of the rectifier diode. Place it in, bend over the lead, solder it into place, and then solder bridge it to the anode of the diode. Cut off the excess. Next, take the second wire from the DC gear motor and place it next to the emitter of the transistor. Put it in place, clamp it down, bend over the lead, and now bend over the emitter lead of the transistor. Press it down, solder bridge it together, and there the emitter of the transistor is connected to the DC gear motor. Go ahead, reconnect it, and let's go ahead and test it out. Turn on the switch, turn the potentiometer, and you will see that will turn. Perfect. As you can see, it works. And now it's time to take some cardboard and build the housing for this project. Put some hot glue on the side of the DC gear motor. Take a piece of cardboard, place it on. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. Next, I'm going to take the circuit and I want to glue it to the cardboard. Placing it right here looks good. Put some hot glue onto the cardboard. And now take the circuit and glue it into place. Take the 9-volt battery, plug it in, and I can tuck it underneath. And there, the first part of the project is now complete. Now onto the second circuit. And these are the items you're going to need to make for the second circuit. The items you're going to need: 9 auto-changing RGB LEDs, plus 4 more, a 3-volt button cell battery, a 3-volt button cell battery holder, a slide switch, and a plastic dome that came from an LED light bulb, some cardboard, neodymium magnets, and a Perfboard. Now let's go and assemble the second circuit and let's get started. First, I need to modify this plastic dome, and as you can see, this opening is too small, so what I need to do is cut off a portion of it to make the opening a little bit bigger. Carefully cut it. And there, the part of the dome is now cut. Next, take some sandpaper and then take the dome and go into a circular motion, which will then cause it to become more even and smooth. And it should look just like this, perfectly even. Next, I want to install the LEDs. I have right here a drill bit that is the same diameter as the LEDs, and now what I need to do is drill a bunch of holes. Drill the hole carefully. And now take a nail file and remove the rough edges so that way it comes out nice and smooth. And there, it should look just like this. And now I can take the LED and place it in the hole, and as you can see, it doesn't go all the way through, which is a perfect fit. because on every LED there's a little excess on the LED that's a little wider than the actual LED itself. This helps prevents LEDs from going all the way through the hole and allow them to sit inside of the housing better. And as you can see, it sits into the housing perfectly. And now make 13 more holes. And there, she'll look just like this when complete. Next, I need to shorten the leads on the LEDs. And there we go, she'll look just like this. And now I did the same thing with the rest of the LEDs. Next, solder tin the leads of the LEDs. Next, solder tin some wires on both ends. Next, solder the black wire over to the cathode of the LED. Red wire over to the anode of the LED. Take some shrink tubing, place it over the exposed leads. Push it all the way through. And now shrink the tubing. And there we go, everything is now properly insulated. Pinch it to make sure it holds in nice and tight. And repeat 13 more times. And there, all of the LEDs are now ready. Next, make a quick test by taking a 3-volt button cell battery and connect all the LEDs to it to see if they light up. And as you can see, this one works. Next, take the 3-volt button cell battery holder and place it into the Perfboard. This pin's negative, this pin's positive. And now clamp it down and solder it into place. Next, solder tin the tabs that are on the Perfboard. This will be where the slide switch will go. Solder bridge these two together. Solder tin the slide switch. And now solder the slide switch into place. Next, take a bridge wire and bridge the positive terminal of the 3-volt button cell battery holder over to the slide switch. Bridge it together just like this. And now cut off the excess. Next, I'm going to connect the LEDs to the Perfboard. Next, take the negative wire and connect it to the negative terminal of the 3-volt button cell battery holder, and then the positive over to the slide switch. Place the negative into place, clamp it down, bend over the lead, solder it into place, and then take a bridge wire and bridge over the negative terminal of the 3-volt button cell battery holder over to the cathode of the LED. Bridged over just like this, cut off the excess, and then repeat the same process with the rest of the negative of the LEDs, and it should look just like this. And now repeat the same process with the anode of the LEDs and connect them all over to the slide switch. And there, all the anodes are now soldered into place. Next, what you need to do is bridge them all together and then bridge them over to the slide switch. Bend over the leads, and then solder bridge everything together. And now take the bridge wire, connect it over to the anode of the LEDs and over to the slide switch. Bridge it over like this. And there, the anodes are now connected over to the slide switch. Next, I'm going to take the 3-volt button cell battery, place it into the holder, clamp it down, and there, the circuit is now complete. Let's go ahead and test it out. Flip on the switch, and there, all the LEDs turn on. And now I'm going to go and take all the LEDs, organize them, and place each one of them inside the hole. Take a little bit of super glue, dab it on, put the LED into place, spray some activator so it stays in place, clean it up, spray some more activator, and there, the LED is now glued into place. Now repeat the same process with the rest of the LEDs, and there, she'll look just like this when complete. Now let's go ahead and turn it on and see how it looks. And as you can see, this looks very good. Next, I need to take a measurement and measure the diameter of this plastic dome. And now take a compass and measure the radius of the dome. Take a piece of cardboard. Figure out the position. This position looks good. And now I'll go ahead and make a circle. And that little hole right there is the center of the circle, which is very useful to know. And I'll repeat the same process 2 more times. And there, I have 3 circles. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the 3 circles, and it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take a screwdriver and make a hole in the center of the circle. Go all the way through, so then that way I can place it onto the DC gear motor. Expand the hole just a little bit more. And there, it fits on the DC gear motor. Cut off the excess cardboard. And as you can see, it's a perfect fit. Take some hot glue and place it onto the cardboard. And place it onto the DC gear motor. Take the second piece of cardboard and place it on top. Doing this will hold it into place better and to make it look a little bit nicer. Next, I'm going to take this third piece of cardboard and a X-Acto knife, and I'm going to go ahead and take this top housing, figuring out the position by making a little mark. And what I need to do is cut out a small square inside of the circle. Doing this will allow me to have access to the circuit. And there, the little square is now made. And now I can go ahead and take the housing and place it on top. And this way I have access to the switch and the battery. Place it on, just like this. And there, I can easily change the battery if I wanted to, and turn the switch on and off. Next, take some hot glue and put it on the circumference of the housing. And there we go, take the piece of cardboard and glue it together. Add some more hot glue to glue it into place more secure, and it should look just like this. And now I can be able to take this top housing and put it on top. The only issue is that it will slide off. This is why I need the neodymium magnets. Take the neodymium magnets and place it onto the cardboard. I have right here these little marks, and I'm going to make a small little indentation so that way I can fit the neodymium magnet inside. Make the hole a little bit bigger. And now I can take the neodymium magnet and place it inside. One goes inside and the second one doesn't, which means it'll allow me to stick it better. Take some super glue and fill up the holes. And now take the neodymium magnet and place it inside the hole. Wipe off some of the excess glue. And now take the neodymium magnet and place it inside the hole. Push it in to make sure that there's just two magnets sitting. And it should look just like this. And there, it should look just like this. Spray some activator to secure it in place. And now take some hot glue and place it onto the neodymium magnet. And now glue the two parts together. Hold it into place and wait for the glue to solidify. And there, now I can go ahead and remove the top housing carefully. And as you can see, almost all the magnets stayed in place. That's okay, I can go ahead and take these other magnets and glue them into place better. And it should look just like this. Now I can go ahead and take the top housing and place it on top, and it will stay in place. And there, the top housing doesn't come off. And there, the project is now complete. Let's go ahead and test it out. Turn on the switch. Turn the potentiometer, and you can see that it rotates at a different speed. I can make it go slow or go fast. And now let's go ahead and turn on the switch. Make the LEDs turn on. Place it on top and allow it to rotate. And as you can see, this looks very cool. Now let's go ahead and test it out in the dark. As you can see, this lights up very well, shining the LED light everywhere. I can make it go slow or fast, and allows the LED light to shine everywhere. This is very nice and very festive looking. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your very own DC gear motor disco lights with using a few simple parts, such as a speed motor controlling circuit and some auto-changing RGB LEDs. Thank you for watching SciTech Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified of future SciTech Tech videos. To the next tech, goodbye.